a picture of an incoming video call from Paul with a word that says join in a little blue box. If you give me your email, I can forward what I have, and all you have to do is click on it, if that'll help.
If you can forward that, that would be great.
Okay.
What she said, we have that.
I'll look for her. I think it's on one of the attachments. I'll look for her email and try to forward it to her, Eric, so you can continue if you needed to.
So do you have my email?
I'm trying to look on one of the other attachments. Unless you can just give it to me right quick.
Okay, yeah, Patricia. Okay, the PATRICIA.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Patricia.
B as a boy, A apple, N Nancy, F Frank, O orange, R robot at gmail.com. So Patricia dot Balfour at gmail.com.
I apologize. Okay, I see. I have one. I'm going to use it. BANFOR.
Well, Evelyn, or whoever else that's online, do you see the DFSS roadmap?
Yes, I see it.
Okay.
I can see it.
So we're back on, except we have Patricia. Or Portia, right? Patricia, yeah, there's a Portia too.
Yeah, I saw Patricia's off of.
There's something coming in. Let's see if I can open it with that.
Did you get my?
Okay, so just click on join, right?
Yes.
When are we supposed to be finished with this class? With
4:30.
Before 30.
Would that work?
No, I meant with the whole course.
Okay.
I just joined. I just joined. Thank you.
No,
Okay, great.
I can hear you now. Okay. Take care.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So, we're back in business. I have to discuss that with Paul, how we're gonna resolve the administrative issues. I find out the other one doesn't work, this works, so we're gonna revert back to this. I have a quick question based on who's attending. In your opinion, how far can you go? How far can you go into August?
I can go anytime. I can
Okay.
have it.
John?
How far can I go until August?
Yeah, I know you said August 3rd. I said probably 17th, 24th. Trust me, I don't want to, but it's a.
Yeah, well, I
it's
can probably go, I would say right now, just off the top of my head, about 2 weeks further.
Okay.
2 weeks further.
How about the rest of you online?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good up to August 24. Because it's Saturday, so I guess I have to sacrifice myself.
August 3rd, the last day, does not work.
No, you said August 24, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the latest.
Okay,
This is Evelyn. After I finish this class, I'm going to another class that does not pertain to nothing like this. So I can't even do after August because I already submit my, contract, wherever I need to do. And I just can't not do it because he said August 3rd. So I had to make that commitment with someone else.
I know. I think this is a Paul issue. He created an impossible situation. I've never had to go through this before. So the point is that you guys are not going to take the exam until October. This is too long of a wait. There's no way the brain can retain all of this.
Eric, this is Luella again. I'm not sure if this makes a difference, but maybe you can check with Paul if you want. because I recall him telling me there was an issue with my scheduling of how everything is spread out so far. I recall him making mention that there was supposed to be a class in September for Six Sigma in Oak Brook. Now, if you need to confirm that, uh, that would be good. But my issue is like having Saturday classes, and I think he said September, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's possible.
But that's a different thing though. This one we have to finish, right? Or do we have to wait till September to finish this class?
I guess it depends. If you're unable to finish it, it can always be rescheduled at another time.
Yeah, my issue as an instructor is
Yeah.
to tell you the truth and how things work. The idea of taking a class, you want to take the class, finish it like a couple, 3 weeks before the exam. And usually we run like a boot camp. It's nothing but practicing questions.
Yeah, but that hasn't been happening.
So the idea is, if there's a compression, sometimes Paul waits to get, I don't know why, get enough people, whatever. So when we do that, then like here, he was hoping that everything would be done in July so you can take the exam in August. I told him that's an impossibility. You know, it cannot happen that way. He said, well, make it happen. I said, how? So we can do a 12-hour class on Saturdays, which I'm not gonna do, for 2 reasons. Simple one is the brain cannot accept that much information in short period of time. So even though I know the material and I can convey it to you, trust me, you'll be brain dead by the following day.
I believe you.
So this information is not like project management. I've taken the classes. You know, there's a sense of continuity and common sense that leads you can build on itself. This doesn't. You know, we go from Six Sigma to Lean to go to, you see what I mean? We're jumping in all kinds of different tools that are being utilized, and we need to remember those tools and how they're utilized. And wait till we get into the statistics portion. You know, that's difficult unless you had math and statistics in high school and in college. That would be a challenge and a half, especially when we go to the reliability portion and to the distributions. That's mind-blowing. I have a student that still has a difficult time with it. Some just didn't get it. You know, and then we go, the DOE portion is easy. I make it fun anyway. So it's not that difficult. It's just the preliminary getting into it that's because of the concepts. And that's when we get that into August. That's why I wanted to know if August is not an issue, then we need to do all of that next week.
No, it's not issues for me and him.
And so I have to change the whole, everything. So I need to get a hold of Paul and say what's on his mind, because he has not responded to say that beyond July, I need August timeframe. And trust me, I'm already giving up vacation for that, just to make it happen, but then I gotta ask. Then you have a long wait to go for the exam. That means we have to have a refresher course a couple of weeks before the exam.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what, you know, we can do that. At any rate, those are admin issues.
Oh, boy.
Okay, to finish up, the 70 to 80% of all quality problems are design related. So the emphasis on manufacturing side alone will concentrate on the tail end of the problem solving issues or process. So the emphasis should be at the front end. In essence, we need to put emphasis in the design engineers. They're the ones, and we discussed it earlier, right? They've done 20% of design. The majority of design is done in 20% of the time, and it's yanked away from the design engineer. And that's where the problem lies. So it's a managerial issue, not a competence of design engineers. But in the end, companies have to show a profit. So it is what it is, right? If we go to page 21, see table 3.4? It's not on this. We have study A and study B, the progression of new products through development. New product ideas in study A was 7, study B is 11. Products entering development, out of 7, only 4, out of 11, 3. Product launched, 1.5, 1.3. Successful products in one. So the
Did you say page 24?
yeah, 21.
Oh, 21. Okay.
So I'll give you my own personal experience on that. So for Kraft, Nabisco, Mondelez, we started every year, about 280 new product ideas. Only 14 ideas went into entering product development. And out of the 14, only 3 went to be as a product.
What page are we on, 14?
No, that's
21?
Page 21,
Okay, I don't see it, so it's a different.
table 3.4. I'm giving you additional, it's not in the book, just additional information from personal experience. Pharma, big pharma, may start with 1,000 drug starts, and they're lucky if they finish with only 1, maybe,
Yeah.
as approved by the FDA. So we're going to look at new product development that are going into market.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Sure.
So the example you just gave us, 1 in 1,000, where does it fall in?
It's just additional information. It's not to be, you're not going to be tested on it.
Okay.
It's just to show you that a new product introduction is not as easy task. A lot of new products are being introduced, but they never make it to market
Yeah, okay.
for a variety of reasons.
So that's what the DFSS is?
DFSS is a design for Six Sigma. It's a powerful tool utilized by design engineers to prevent problems from happening. So in essence, we understand that too many 70 to 80% of the problems are design related. So by using DFSS, we prevent 80% of the problems from migrating into production.
I see. Okay.
So again, DFSS is like DMAIC.
Okay.
It's a structured discipline approach to design engineering. And Motorola was hired at the tail end, rehired, I guess, to go ahead and teach design engineers how to use DFSS to make sure to prevent problems. And it was just like dealing with doctors. You're not a design engineer, no?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. No, you gotta.
It's okay,
You gotta slow down. You gotta use this. Why? I've been doing this
I
for.
believe it. That's why you're not hearing anything.
Yeah,
I actually believe this stat.
Yeah, no,
I've never seen a statistic before on that, but I actually believe it, yeah.
yeah, from experience.
Yeah, from experience, yeah.
It's the truth, though.
Yeah, I'm not arguing it, that's why.
But see, you call it a design when it comes to engineering, but I mean, it's still design, but we basically call it planning.
Yeah. Hey, you should see. You should see the different cookies and biscuits we were designing. But they never make it to market because they could not be reproducible
Yes.
with the same taste, same everything.
All right.
Same thing with other products. It has to be reproduced
Mhm.
with the same quality level and the same customer expectation. Right? If it doesn't meet that, guess what? It's gone.
Yeah.
So along with the DFSS roadmap, we need to have stage gates. And I think part of it, you understand what the stage gates are. For those of you that have taken project management, right? You have what is known as the kill decision, is when do you kill the project? So if you're running the project, you need to introduce different stages for review of the project and decide, are you progressing? Are you vacillating? And if you see you're getting off track, somebody has to make the decision. Usually the project manager will be the first one to say, I'm in trouble and we need to stop, or I need additional funds. So the product development stages, I get an idea, prove that it works. You got to get a financial assessment, develop and test, scale up, launch, post-delivery support, continuous learning. And continuous learning is you go back in the loop and enter what you have learned, the pros and cons, etc., so that others can benefit from it.
What page is that? Because I cannot see it on mine here. Oh, so it's like a box on my side. Okay, so you changed it. Okay.
23.
Yeah.
It's presented differently.
Yeah, it's presented as a box here. Yeah. Okay, I'm good.
So under page 24, you go into the different types of product management of new products, new to the world products. These are inventions and discoveries. New category entries, these are products that are new to the company. Products, additions to product line, extension of the organization existing product line, probably with a little different twist. Product improvement, current products made better. We see that a lot. Repositioning, products that are retargeted for new use, okay, and cost reduction products. So in the design aspect, we have IDOP in addition to DFSS. So IDOP is identify, design, optimize, and validate. Again, those are specific structured tools that are used by design engineers. So it takes Six Sigma one step further. And the idea is to improve on DMAIC. So DMAIC attains Six Sigma levels in existing products and processes, while IDOT and DMA DV, and we're going to cover that in a minute, another DFSS methodology quantifies the step necessary to achieve Six Sigma quality in a product. So the IDOT model uses such tools as QFD, FMEA, and benchmarking. We're going to cover these. Design, emphasis on CTQ, critical to quality.
Can you quickly tell us the meaning of, or tell me the meaning of Q, all those abbreviations?
I said we're going to cover all of this in detail.
Okay.
Okay, identify requirements, etc., optimize and validate. That means test and validate a design. We have DMA DV, that's like IDOP. The 5 steps DMA DV process for Six Sigma design. Define, measure, analyze, design, and verify. You don't need to know these things, you just need to be exposed to it so that when you're at work and a design engineer invites you to a meeting, they're going to be talking all of this.
Yeah, because I'm seeing them and I don't know the meaning coming from farmer side, so that's why I was asking.
So that way you'll be exposed and you'll know what they're talking about, or it will force you to go back to a reference book and find out.
Yeah.
So design for Six Sigma, training and launch the product implementation, design for Six Sigma. You attack the most complex projects with the greatest potential gains. So strictly a design related tool. But you just need to know what it is. In case they do ask a question, you will know that DFSS stands for Design for Six Sigma. We have different types of design systems. We have systemic design. It's a step-by-step approach to design provides a structure to the design process using German methodology. Okay. The four main phases is task clarification, conceptual design, embodiment design, and detail design. Then there is the French model.
So how do you define systemic design to somebody that is not engineer? I see the four phases. So how do you define the systemic versus a different design?
The more main phases of design, it's a different design that's being utilized mainly. It's a German type of design. They're just explaining to you those are the different types of design. So you have task, conceptual design where you identify essential problems and sub-functions. Embodiment design, develop concept, layouts, and refinements. Design, detailed design, that's when you finalize the drawings by creating detailed drawings that need to go to suppliers in order to manufacture the different components. So most of these are the same. They're just subsets of general design methodology. So for instance, this was the phases in the design process of a German methodology. Now we have the French model. It's still the same thing. Everything is done the same way, but they're going to call it with a different twist. First, you start with need, analysis of problem, statement of the problem, conceptual design, and obviously we're migrating into details of each component of the drawing that we need to send to the suppliers. And then we have drawings.
A question, when you say systemic in science, it's completely different. Has nothing to do, it's just a route. So that's why I'm asking that question. So it has nothing to do with it then.
I don't understand the question. Are you questioning how the designs are being performed?
No, I know the meaning of design, but the reason why I'm asking for systemic design is systemic in science or biology actually means something different.
It is, yes. This is not the same.
Yeah.
This is systemic design of technical systems and products that we're talking about. Design of technical systems and products.
Okay.
Not necessarily applied to chemical, biological, or anything like that. They have their own structure.
Okay.
This would be more the electromechanical.
Okay.
Then we go to failure modes effects analysis. Okay, that's a sub-tool that is being utilized. Very important, by the way, and it is important for you greenbelts because you're going to be asked to run a team on how to run an FMEA. So FMEA is failure modes effects analysis and criticality analysis. It was developed, believe it or not, by the fire department. They needed to know how to reduce the fires in homes and how quickly to get to a home to put out the fire. To do that, they had to do a lot of what-if scenarios. Okay, we are in Schaumburg, let's say, or whatever town, it doesn't make a difference. If there's a fire 10 miles away, by the time we arrive, will the house still be standing or it will burn down to the ground? So the issue is, what's the solution? So you do a lot of the what-ifs. So some of the things that would come up would be, well, how about we put fire stations in key block areas of the city? How about we put retention ponds so that we have water access? Or do we have the water hydrants? You see, all these had to be developed ahead of time, and you would utilize an FMEA to accomplish that. Okay?
What is the other example other than fire department?
Sending spaceships to the moon and Mars. What if scenario? What if the computer breaks 1 month after it's in orbit or it's on its way? How do we fix it? So these things are now being included in regular life. So let's look at a car. What's going to happen if I fall asleep behind the vehicle? I'm going to be dead, right? That's okay.
Okay,
We
sure.
can put a lane guiding system. How much is it gonna cost? $200-300? How about it's worth preventing an accident? Let's put it in cars. You see what I mean? So that's an FMEA. What if, what if, what if? And we're gonna cover that exactly in detail. I will give you, next time, I will give you a homework assignment and how to change your life, the quality of your life by using a fishbone diagram and an FMEA. If you do that homework, you will know how to do FMEAs for the rest of your life. And I'm saying you need to know that. And it's only a tool. It can be changed. It does not have to be technical, mechanical, or electronics. It can be anything. So by changing to improve your quality of life, it makes you think a different way, but the tool is used exactly the same. Okay? So the way the FMEA is structured, it has an RPN function. Okay, and we'll cover that. P is the probability this failure mode will occur. The index is from 1 to 10, with 1 being virtually no chance, 10 being near certain occurrence. S is severity of the effect of the failure on the rest of the system if the failure occurs. Value of 1 to 10. 1 means the user will be unlikely to notice, with 10 meaning that the safety of the user is in jeopardy. D is a measure of the effectiveness of the current controls that we have in place in order to determine the weakness of the failure prior to release the production. So then we take RPN is equal to PSD. We call it IPN, so we multiply P times S times D. And here's the system FMEA. Let's see if I can increase it. You see it? So let's say part number Wilton power block, we have a clamp. The function is a clamp. What's the potential failure mode of the clamp not working? It would be leak. What's the potential effects of the failure? We would have to call housekeeping to do a cleanup job. What's the potential causes of the failure? Most likely wear and tear. There are other overpressure pumps, sizing. What are the current controls? Accept the supplier's information. So now we all sit down as a team. So it'll be several people working together. And we look at this and said, what's the potential risk, potential of this is happening? We all vote on it. We all agreed it was out of 10 a 2. What's the severity of a leak? We all agreed collectively it's a 4. What are the existing controls? Well, we said we look at the supplier and we determined there was a 3. So we multiply 2 times 4 times 3 is 24. We do that with other things. So when we looked at all of these, we pick the highest numbers to work with. So the highest would be 32 and 24. We may decide we're not going to cover the other ones. So now when we cover these, we expect to have results. So recommended corrective action, discuss this with the supplier. Action taken. Right, we said that's what we should do. When did we do it? Whom do we talk to? What is their action? So they have to create the actions, then we revise the PSD, RPN number by the same team, and we determine it's got to be lower than 24, otherwise, no banana, right? So we put down responsible department of individual, and if it's done, this number RPN will be a lot lower. I saved Motorola $1 million of penalty fees because of this. We failed on a product for Nextel. New product development, we send it out, they wanted it ASAP, we rushed everything like we normally do, right? They got it. On Friday, they called us and they said, your product is not working. We need telecommunication this weekend with the new product. We already shoved the old product aside. This is the communication cabinets. So I get a call and they said, that's the black belt, you take care of the problem. So I called the customer, and the customer said, I better have an answer by tomorrow. If not, you pay $1 million penalty. It's in the contract. Right? Because their communications shut down in Chicago. So they're saying, we have to uphold our telecommunication system for the city. So I immediately called the design engineers and everything. Nobody goes home. We're gonna stay here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Monday, until we solve the problem. So, call your homes, call your wives, families, you're not going home. I will provide the dinner, and we start working on it immediately. We did. Everything was done. We solved the problem by Saturday. And I went in, I called the reliability engineer, and I said, I need you here. You have to come in, and we need to take a look at your FMEA tables. I want to see, we develop a new product, there is an FMEA. I want to look at it. We identified the problem. I want to see if it was predicted in the FMEA. We came in, we looked at it, sure as hell. The problem was, we had a policy that anything over 100, we have to address. That particular problem was like in, I forget, 86. So by our guidelines, we didn't touch it until we solved the other ones first. So I went in and I contacted, we rebuilt everything. And Sunday, they were in full operation. I've been working day and night. So I contacted the customer on Monday, and I said, I'm sending you by email a copy of the FMEA. And the problem is, that's confidential information. I had nobody to talk to. I had to make a decision. I sent it to them. They looked it over. Says, Eric, thank you. You just saved yourself $1 million. Penalty is off the books. Because of the FMEA. They understood, I explained. We did address it, but based on the RPN number, it was lower than the minimum requirement to address the issue. That's how powerful that stuff is.
So they accepted the FMEA and took the product without any penalty.
Yes,
So
because of the FMEA.
So the problem was they took the product with problem.
No, we solved the problem.
You saw the
Oh yeah, that's, if we didn't solve the problem, forget it.
right. So the product
It
was
was
here
$1
only.
million a day.
It was not shipped.
Yeah, it was shipped. We delivered everything. Everything was around the clock.
Then you bring it back.
Yeah, we brought it back,
Okay.
fixed it, put the software, set it back. It was a continuous motion. I mean, the customer had to work with us.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but what I want to emphasize is this, how important this tool is. I cannot overemphasize it. I just saved a lot of money to the company. And I've seen same savings other places because in today's world, the contracts, and if you talk project management, you're late, you pay through the nose. It's just a way of life. It's all now put in contracts because it's a commitment and you better live up to it. Any questions from the gallery? So we have risk management. Those are identifying you that we do have catastrophic, failure, critical, marginal, minor, just definitions of it. These are the standards accepted by the industry. The risk assessment, is it unreasonable to expect that major this failure will degrade the performance of the system? And this is to help the team that gets together that puts a RPN number to it. So it's a guideline, so that otherwise we're going to be all over the map. We're saying, please use that definition before you give a number. And then we collectively in brainstorming, take a number that we all agree to. So it's got to be, everybody has to agree to the number. Risk assessments, probability. So those are good tools to use when you get together. Benefits, of FMEAs. Big definites, obviously I just mentioned some of them. You can read up on that. The Greenbelt's FMEA role, often a Greenbelt will be in charge of the team conducting the FMEA. If the Greenbelt is inexperienced, the use of an experienced FMEA knowledgeable facilitator is beneficial. The one thing I'm going to say is if you, the Greenbelt, will run an FMEA project, remember to surrender that to the people involved with that program in that department. Do not accept everything. You may be outside your realm of responsibility. Just because you can run an FMEA doesn't mean you own it. So be careful in accepting that. We have different types of FMEAs. We have system FMEA. That's for the whole system or subsystem. We have design FMEA. That's usually where they belong the most. And that's to reduce the risk of failures and to improve on the products by designing issues out of the product design. We also have process FMEAs. That's mostly in the manufacturing area. And then we have the AIAG FMEA manual, which contains two process control columns. So, service FMEA, so you see what I mean now. When I got involved, FMEAs was strictly for manufacturing, not for design, for service, everywhere. Everybody's using it, even the military is using it.
So in the case of your example in Motorola, what was the real problem?
What was the real problem?
I mean, the company guideline says you don't touch it if the RPM number is less than 100. Yet you sent something to the customer that had an RPM number of 86, and they're just complaining that the thing doesn't work. So does it mean the company guideline really was really kind of like maybe the cause of the problem?
What I did is I promised our guidelines is the following. At that time, we address all over 100. When we solve these, we go to the next level. All those under 100 up to 50 to 100. And we keep moving.
Because of the compressed schedule, you didn't get to
correct.
I assume.
It's common sense, you know. How many people do you have working for you?
I understand.
Okay.
I missed that, or I forgot that part or something.
Well, I didn't explain it exactly.
Because there may be some
question.
that you get down to low enough RPM numbers that you don't even address, right? Like someone's got an RPM number of 1 or something.
Right, that's, what do they call that? Dust? And the product.
Noise.
Yeah, just noise. And noise is a better term. External noise, and therefore external noise is external noise. It's going to happen. And the design engineer or the DOE champion, you know, you have to work around the noise factor. Service FMEAs, the easy follow-up FMEA. Like I said, read it up, and I'm going to give you a assignment. Okay, maybe I can send it by email since we have a lot of people online. So I'm going to have to use the email system in order to communicate with some of the folks.
My email is not there. You want to get my email?
I got it.
That reply.
I got it.
Got it.
He didn't. This was key.
Okay.
I got yours when you wrote it in.
Okay.
So I have my own list.
Okay.
But he was so nice to do that, and I guess he was right. I needed it in, see, remember that? So I did all of that way before. I didn't have everybody's email, and the idea was, I asked him, we need a Gmail account or some ways, you know, for people to be able to connect. So any questions so far?
No, good.
Okay, we're gonna call it quits. I think we all, unless you want to do a couple questions just to, yeah, 3.5.
3.5.
3.10, whatever is yours. Which of the following forms of Buddha affects people more than product quality? Think logically. Is it overproduction, excess inventory, waiting, or transport?
I don't see that. Where is it? Which question?
It's not on here. It's not on here. Remember, the green sheets are only a few of them.
I would say C, waiting.
Correct.
Waiting around. Hurry up and wait. They say.
It's for the military. Hurry up and wait.
Oh, there's a lot of places where that's for.
How about 3.4? Why is DFSS called the future of Six Sigma? A, there are few remaining made projects available in most companies. DFSS roadmaps are more attractive than DMAIC tools. DFSS is better serves the current innovation initiatives of many companies, but the MAIC projects do not achieve Six Sigma levels without DFSS.
I'll go with something that say better. Better service.
Which one?
C, better service.
DFSS better serves the current innovation initiatives. That is correct.
Yes, sir.
See, they're not so difficult.
Can we take these, can we use these, getting these right answers as credits on our test?
Well, you can try. Good luck with that, though. 3.10. Which of the following are DFSS techniques?
3.10.
IDOV, and DMAC, Kaizen, Kanban, SPC, whatever, KPOV, you should know that. Thank you. Take care. Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
I don't know this one.
We just covered it. It's IDOV and DMA-DV.
Oh yeah, A, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we just did it.
Are these questions in the book or are you just reading them off somewhere else?
They're in your book.
We're on 3-44.
Number 3 point.
I don't have a book, so.
Well, you don't have a book, yeah. We're gonna take care of that. And we're gonna take care of it by mail.
Yeah.
I've already discussed about you picking it up, so that's not gonna work very well. 3.14, overproduction, scrap weighting, and excess motion are all forms of what? EPM, CUDA, Kanban, or CFM?
Oh, you better get this one.
Yeah,
Me, right?
You'll get that right. That's I quit. So what is it?
It's
C, right?
it's
Uh-huh.
Tim Wood.
It's B.
It's Tim
Yeah,
Wood.
B. Because we just finished it too.
It's, okay, we'll leave it at
Tim
that.
Wood.
No, I never heard of that
All
one.
right, we're gonna come back. We have to really finish up. We're one chapter behind, obviously. But we're gonna pick up we're actually gonna start with the DMAIC next week. So it's gonna be defined. The next two chapters is really about defining. So it's big.
All right.
And so we're gonna cover the defining. It is very important to define the problem because if you do not define the problem, how can you solve anything? You don't know what you're working on. So the product needs to be defined, and the more you understand that what you're working on, what the problem is, the closer you're going to get to the solution, how to solve the problem. And on that note, we're going to call it quits. You're going to have 2 areas to download. Right, because we lost you, so we reconnected for about an hour. So, okay, have a nice weekend. You all have work to do on talking to Paul. I will also convey to him what needs to be done. And it needs to be done right away because we cannot wait. So, okay?
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for joining. I apologize for the delay.
Okay.
And I think we solved that. The recommendations did not work. It was a nice try.
Yeah.
Okay,
Next week we will expect the same type of link we used in this afternoon, right?
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, you too, guys. Stop sharing. And